morning, I'm Allison Henderson with the TIF TA team. I'm here today with Tony Swafford spotlighting the Texans Academies TIF 5 grant. Welcome, Tony. How are you today?
Doing great.
Tell us a little bit about your TIF 5 grant. What are your major accomplishments that you hope to achieve over the 5 years of the grant?
Well, of course, our major goal is to improve instruction and increase learning by our students on our campuses. We're a system of 13 public alternative charter high schools across the state of Texas. We're 9th through 12th grade only, and our mission statement is to provide the best education possible for all students, but particularly we focus on those students who have not been successful in a traditional high school setting. So basically the kids that have either been failed by the system or they have failed within the system.
What are some of the more unique features of your program?
We applied for the TIF grant based on our participation in the state grant. The state grant was called EEIP, Educator Effectiveness Innovation Program. So for the past 2 years, we've been able to pay out performance bonuses to our teachers in the core areas based on the performance of their students. And we have improved from single-digit test scores to last year we were able to pay out to, on one of our campuses, to the math team, the maximum bonus because in an alternative public charter high school, we exceeded the state average in the algebra test.
That's excellent. You mentioned that you're doing some payouts and some bonuses. What are some of the other elements of your project's design?
In order to meet the needs of our students, it takes a very unique, a very uniquely qualified teacher. So we have developed what we call Pathways to Teaching, and we are partnering with colleges and universities and non-traditional teacher preparation programs in order to get them to help us identify potential candidates, bring them in for pre-service opportunities, actually have them come and work with us in summer school programs, and in return, we're able to use part of the grant funds to assist with their tuition and expenses and certification, those types of things. And we're really hoping that our teacher recruitment and retention process can improve. With the state grant that we've had, we've already reduced our retention rate, or increased our retention rate, reduced our turnover rate with our teachers. In that this past year, we had 49 new teachers at the beginning of the year, and we kept 43 of them.
That's
only
excellent.
lost 6 of them.
That seems to be, it's probably higher than the state average, I would think, in the communities that you serve. Yes, that's great. So you're a TIF 5, you're relatively new. It's hard launching, right, getting off the ground. So what do you hope to accomplish this year?
Well, the first thing is that we were paying payments only to our core teachers through the state grant, and we've been able to bring in our non-core teachers. We have a unique advising system for our students. You know, most traditional high schools in urban areas, a counselor in that school is going to work with 500 to 600 students. We cap ours at 90 students per advisor. And we're in the process of moving toward all of our advisors will be, they'll have an MSW, a Master of Social Work. And we're trying to meet the needs of our students both inside and outside the school. So our people have to be not only academic advisors, they also are social and welfare advisors.
So in this first year, you're plugging through it. Is there anything that's been completely surprising to you in your work? Anything that kind of caught you off guard that you weren't expecting, either good or bad?
Well, the biggest challenge that we faced is being able to come up with a concrete number, if you will, to measure student growth. What we have used for student performance in the past is the state assessment. In Texas, we have what's called the STAR exam, State of Texas Academic Assessment Readiness. The last test that the kids take before they come to us are the 8th grade tests.
I see.
And a lot of our kids that come to us as overage 8th grade students that the traditional public schools don't want them to come back into their middle schools. So they will write a letter and say that they placed them at the 9th grade with the caveat that they will enroll at Texans and Academies. And we've been very successful with those kids, but a lot of them either weren't. I mean, you're talking about a
Right.
snapshot picture of that student's abilities. And if they weren't there on that day and didn't test, then we don't have anything to compare back to. So we've struggled with that across our system, over 5,000 kids. We are averaging a 2.3 grade level increase in their reading skills over that 6-month period.
Are you looking at other measures of growth, or is this where you think you've landed with how you're going to move forward?
We're in discussions right now with some other grantees that are using student learning
Yes.
objectives, SLOs, and we may move toward SLOs in the future simply because we do have such a hard time tracking back. You know, we get a lot of kids that come to us from out of the country, Central America and South America and Mexico, and those kids don't have a testing history in the United States.
It sounds like you're making some great progress, and thank you for being in the spotlight.